Atoms are the base for all matter, so it's pretty important to have a good understanding of them and the way they work. This video is part 2 of a 3-part series which will cover all you need to know to have a good grasp of the atomic theory. This episode being all about understanding the atom itself. As covered in the previous video, the current atomic model is the electron cloud model. Despite this, we will be looking at the Bohr model as it functions almost the same and will be much simpler for understanding the functions of the parts of an atom. There are 3 basic particles that make up an atom: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Each particle has a different charge. Protons have a positive charge, neutrons have no charge or a neutral charge, and electrons have a negative charge. Each particle also has mass as well. Protons and neutrons have an equal mass. When counting the atomic weight, this weight is simply 1, but we'll touch on that later. Electrons, on the other hand, have so little mass that their mass is negligible when compared to that of protons and neutrons. Now that we have all the pieces of an atom and their properties, we can piece together an atom. The protons go in the nucleus at the center of the atom, but because they are all positively charged, they repel each other and need the neutrons to hold them together. Then, on the outside, orbiting the nucleus, we have the electrons. There are 3 numbers attributed to any atom. These 3 are the atomic number, the net charge, and the mass number. The atomic number is simply the number of protons in an atom. This number is also what separates each atom from one another. Hydrogen has 1 proton, helium has 2, lithium 3, and so on and so on. The net charge is the balance of protons and electrons. If an atom, for example, has 3 protons and 2 electrons, it has a net charge of 1. If an atom had 5 protons and 7 electrons, it would have a net charge of -2. The mass number is simply the number of protons and neutrons. The electrons aren't counted here because their mass is so small, as mentioned before. A helium-4 atom, for example, would have 2 protons and 2 neutrons. This would give it a mass number of 4. There are also different types of atoms, even of the same element: ions and isotopes. Ions are simply atoms that have an imbalance of protons and electrons. For example, if an atom had a net charge of -1 or lower, it would be a negative ion. If it had a net charge of 1 or more, it would be a positive ion. Isotopes are atoms that have the same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons. For example, a stable helium atom has 2 protons and 2 neutrons. This makes its mass number 4 and is known as helium-4. A helium atom with 1 less neutron, however, is a different isotope and is known as helium-3. This can also work by adding neutrons. That was a brief overview of the mysterious ways of the atom. These numbers and properties will come in handy in the next video of the series, reading the periodic table. And as said in the last video, this is a basic overview of the atom and in no way includes everything there is to know about them. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, why not subscribe for more in the future? And if you want more right now, how about checking out some of my other videos from the past? Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.